One question that I hear quite a bit is why does the SEC bring so few enforcement actions over Reg FD violations? The SEC has brought about 15 cases over the past 20 years in the FD area. Today on Zippy Point.
Quick Zips by Zippy Point.
Quick and dirty. I'm Broc Romanek. I'm a big fan of yous. So since the SEC adopted Regulation FD in the year 2000, it has brought 15 cases, about a dozen of which were brought in the first decade since FD was adopted, and only 3 in the past decade. So it is slow to a trickle. Here are 5 reasons why I think there are so few FD cases. 1, companies do comply. Between the SEC's adoption of Regulation FD in 2000, its spate of message cases, and the Section 21A report that the SEC issued all on the same day in 2002, that 21A report had Motorola's name on it. Companies really got the message and practices really did change. And those practices have had staying power. Companies are very cognizant of their FD obligations. They have policies, they have training, and they're scared for good reason. 2, individuals are targets. So this is one of those violations of regulations where the individuals get sanctioned. The officers, they are professionals that break the law, really get hurt. Their reputations, their careers, their pocketbooks. The SEC can take action against the employees responsible for violations of FD, regardless of whether the SEC takes an action against the company itself. It's not one of those laws that traditionally will get the company itself in trouble. 3, there's a fix built right into the regulation. So this is one of those rare rules where an inadvertent slip can be fixed through a process laid out within Regulation FD itself. So this is sort of a safety valve that can prevent enforcement from having an interest. 4, an FD violation gets triggered if the information is reasonably clear to be material. So this seems to be a pretty high standard. See my separate Vid-Guide on the challenging definition of what is material. But also listen to this podcast with former Chief Counsel of the Division of Enforcement, Joan McGowan. She's now a partner at Jones Day. I worked with Joan way back when, and so she was Chief Counsel for 17 years. It's a great podcast, a little bit over 15 minutes, and it talks a lot about what I'm saying now. Anyway, Joan talks about the SEC sometimes will bring a case based on a statement from an officer that something may happen. Joan calls it fraud by grammatical error. So it's a great podcast. Check it out. 5, the SEC's resources are limited. So this is the biggie. The SEC chair pretty much sets the agenda for what the SEC is going to do. The SEC commissioners are going to have an input on enforcement cases since they're voting as a commission about whether the action should go forward. So these folks decide where they want to devote the enforcement division's limited resources. There's no private right of action for a Reg FD violation. So if the SEC doesn't want to pursue a lot of FD cases or any FD cases, even though some investigations might have borne fruit in that area, so be it. I have many other Vid-Guides about Regulation FD. You can go to zippypoint.com to see those, or search YouTube with the hashtags of #RegFD, #ZippyPoint.